Between 2021 and 2025, college sports became a wild west of massive teenage payouts and infinite unrestricted transfers. This multi-billion-dollar professionalized industry relied on the fanatical, high-stakes atmosphere of American college football. Behind the sold-out crowds and flashy endorsement deals, the financial structure of the entire collegiate system is failing. The pressure increased when a $2.8 billion retroactive settlement forced universities to back-pay athletes for years of denied earnings. According to the White House, major athletic programs closed the 2025 fiscal year carrying up to $535 million in debt. This unregulated arms race has left athletic departments with annual debt loads that often exceed their projected revenue. Universities are redirecting all available capital toward football and men's basketball, starving the rest of their athletic departments. Sports that don't generate massive revenue, like track, swimming, and gymnastics, are being cut to keep the football programs afloat. Sarah Hirshland, CEO of the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, warns that this financial shift is dismantling the collegiate pipeline for Team USA. The current NIL model trades the long-term amateur development system for short-term revenue retention in a handful of sports. On April 3, 2026, President Trump signed an executive order setting a hard compliance deadline of August 1st. The order establishes 5 specific mandates, starting with a 5-year eligibility cap to prevent veteran players from hoarding scholarships. Athletes are now limited to a single penalty-free transfer, ending the seasonal bidding wars between rival schools. Booster-funded collectives are banned. Any compensation must now be a documented exchange for fair market value. Universities must now prove their revenue-sharing models actively protect and fund women's and Olympic programs. The FTC now oversees agent contracts to prevent exploitation, and schools must guarantee comprehensive medical care for their athletes. By August, every university must adopt these rules or lose the ability to operate under the current collegiate model. How does the executive branch force independent athletic programs to follow these rules? The administration instructed the Department of Education to revoke federal research grants and contracts from any non-compliant institution. This chart compares a university's athletics debt to the federal research funding it receives. For major universities, these grants total hundreds of millions of dollars. Presidents must decide if a competitive football roster is worth risking the academic funding that sustains the entire institution. The threat to a university's research funding provides the federal government its primary source of compliance. While the NCAA and conference commissioners are relieved to have federal intervention, they are now aggressively preparing for the fallout. In 2021, the Supreme Court ruled that athletes have expansive antitrust protections to profit and easily move between schools freely. One branch of the federal government demands unlimited athlete freedom, while another branch mandates strict caps and rigid participation limits. If a university follows the president, they may violate a federal court order. If they follow the judge, they lose their federal grants. The executive order forces a conflict that can only be resolved if Congress passes the SCORE Act to codify these changes into law. The Wild West era of college sports is ending, but the fight over what replaces it is moving into the federal court system.